Alrighty, here we go with the second update. We have a problem on our hands. Took apart the differential. I really took apart, took the cover off, cleaned it, looked at it. That is not our problem. So, the gears in there look fine. I'll show you all in a second. But I cleaned up the diff cover, painted it orange because, you know, it's Chevy. But I took that off, cleaned it up. You can see the disaster it left on my floor. But here, I'll show you what I'm looking at in here underneath the car. So here's your differential. So what I was expecting to see is all these gears in the middle, these ones right there. I was expecting to see those exploded because those are called spider gears, which allows your wheels so they will turn separately. It is an open rear end, which means both wheels will not spin at the same time because there's spider gears in there that cause it to put more traction to one wheel or the other. It's an awful design. Why not just give everything Positrack? Which is a Positrack would mean that you would have a bunch of stuff in there that would cause both wheels to spin at the same time under a certain amount of load. But I got in here and everything looks fine. I don't see any big issues. I mean, the oil is a little crusty and there's a little bit of metal in it, but that's completely normal. But it was nothing to like be scared of. That's just garbage that was already in there. But so that's my dilemma at the moment because the rear end's fine. I don't know what noises I was hearing from it, but I have either something wrong with the engine or transmission, which is fully possible, or I could get lucky and they could be just fine and some dude just took the drive shaft out for no reason other than to take it out. So I'll come back later with some more updates, see what we got going on with this mystery Camaro. This is the face of defeat. So, I'm not defeated, just a little upset. This poor 305, nobody gives a shit about a 305. They're gutless, they make no power. You can't really get them to make power. Just put a 350 in it. This sucker is locked up tight. It's locked up like Alcatraz or I don't know. So whatever other high security prisons there are. It's locked up. It's tight. I'm bending my breaker bar trying to loosen this sucker. And it's no play around breaker bar. It's a breaker bar. So now I've got to decide whether or not it's worth just ripping this engine out and replacing it with the one I got over here. That one right there. Ooh, this is a Tree Fitty. It's a Hencho and Mexico block, which means that it is a reman engine and it's made in Mexico. Usually those blocks are pretty good. They're worth a little bit. So I guess it's gonna either be ripping this out or I'm just gonna scrap the car. I don't really know yet. Yeah, that's that. Alrighty, so I'm not too butthurt about the engine being bad. So what? I've got others, and that makes spare parts that I can use for other engines. So it's got a good water pump. Carburetor could be used. The distributor carb or computer controlled garbage from the 80s GM. So that's no good, but like everything else, I could reuse it. So not that butthurt. I can have the old one out, new one in by the end of the day. So that's not too bad. But stop for a little lunch. Making me some spam, egg, and corn tortilla things, I guess, on the wood stove. Because, you know, why not? Cool. I want to do it. But I got a lot of work cut out for me. Got to take all this out without destroying the wires. I want to leave them in there in case someone wants to do something with it. They probably won't. Let's be honest, the fuel injection on these cars was trash anyways. So, not too butthurt about that. Take care of this. I gotta keep these ugly headers though, because they hook up to the exhaust it's got. And change all that. I just want it to, you know, work for what it is. Yeah. I'll keep all the bracketry and stuff and probably put it back on in case, or just leave it in the trunk for the next owner, because that's their problem then. It will not be mine. I'm ready to be rid of it already. Alright, so working on this thing here. Don't worry, in the walls, on my head. You get the meme. But got the front bumper off, needs replaced anyways. It's trashed. Getting the engine and transmission out, or just the engine really, I don't want to pull the transmission. Got all this stuff taken out. Carburetor's loose. I just need to get a bolt that's back there and then get this damn distributor out. But it did this magical thing called seizing in there, and it didn't want to come out now, so that's fun. I'm beating it with a hammer and a pry bar and it's not budging, so that's fun. But yeah, I probably will have the engine out by tonight. Won't have the new engine in because I got to swap a bunch of parts over from this one to that one. And yeah, that's how that's going. It's about 95 degrees in here. Got that wood stove just cooking, and let me tell you what, it's hot. I'm sweating. Yo, what's up? We're back at it. That's about ready to come out. I just really need to get the power steering lines disconnected, the motor mounts, and 3 more transmission bolts. And over here, EGR valves on these things. Where the hell did I put the other one? Well, anyways, it sits right here, and it's ridiculous, and it's just government BS. And I, being a cheap ass, don't feel like buying a block off EGR plate. So, you know, I got the old booger welder special out, threw it together this, welded the holes up shut. I'm gonna grind it down, make it look semi-purty, and then voila, for free I have obtained me an EGR block off plate. And yeah, just a little fabrication goes a long way. It saves me time. I ain't gotta go buy one. I gotta wait on one to come in the damn mail. I can just voila, make my own. Some bitch. Easy as that. We're officially to the point of white girl music drunk, working in the cars in the garage. Fuck this thing. Well, boys, we're almost there. The engine is currently suspended, but sadly, what sucks is that since the engine's locked up, I couldn't take the torque converter off of the flex plate and just leave it in the transmission. So I had to take it out with it, which absolute pain in the butt to get back in, because you have to line up. There's some teeth in there inside the torque converter that goes onto the transmission shaft. You gotta line them up perfectly, otherwise they don't go in. Run into that problem before, and it's an absolute pain in the butt. But I'll probably figure some way around it to make it easier. But yeah, engine's hanging. Ain't my fuck problem no more. I'm gonna throw that fucker outside. I don't want nothing to do with it. We'll strip the good parts, and then, you know, I don't know, make it a table or something. I don't know. We can get crazy with it. You know, what's the fun in doing all this stuff? You ain't gonna have fun with it. You know what I mean? All right, that's all I got for this little update. Alrighty, so look at that. It's not in there no more. Woo! Yeah. So now it's time for disassembly and prepping my other motor for the engine to go in. I thought about it. I can just remove this torque converter now, throw it right in there, and then I can put that motor in, and then what you do is you just line up these holes here with the flex plate, the little bolt back there that'll go through it. Put them on. Oh, broke something. Oh well. But interesting enough, this distributor is seized into the motor. I've never seen that on a Chevy before. It's like a Ford thing, because I don't know what they did there, but they messed something up. And it's pretty well stuck. Beat it with a hammer. It's in there. It ain't going nowhere. So, and don't worry about this distributor. It's of no use. It's the spark control one. They're just better off throwing in the trash can right over there. So don't worry about me kicking the shit out of it. It'll buff. I've got a whole shelf of other ones right there, so we're all good. But I hate these header designs because it's got the smog on it. So what this is The government thought if you just diluted the exhaust before it left the car, it made it less bad. It's not how that fucking works. It's still the same amount, just more diluted coming out of the tailpipe. But there'd be a pump down here that would inject air through a big old system. I've already ripped it all to pieces. It's huge and ugly. But what it does is it sucks in air, pumps it in through these tubes, and then it blows it into the exhaust right there. And then it does its magic and makes it apparently less bad. You know, it just... I don't understand it. The 80s was a weird time. Too much cocaine involved. But, yeah. This is out. That's ready to go in. Not much more to it. I'm going to clean up a little bit. You know, polish it up. Some high school kid thinks it's the greatest thing on the slice of earth. So, he wants it real bad. But, other than that, it's getting left alone. It's getting a new engine. Okay, so this is so wild how stuck this thing is. I have to get a video of this. It will not come out for the life of it. I bent one fucking pry bar already. Look at the bend in that sucker. That was angled out like that. That's fucking... Got a spoon. What am I gonna do with a spoon? This is just absurd. There is no reason for this whatsoever. It will not come out. I guess I'm just going to have to call it quits on this intake. I got another one laying over there, but I wanted to use this one. But with this doing its thing, I'm mutilating this aluminum intake. So, sucks that it is, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? So, not much I can do about it. Well, I found the reason this sucker was off the road, and I had to go deep sea diving to obtain this thing. Oh my God, I've never seen it this bad in my life. It's like a powder, but also like really fine rust. These two cylinders just completely rotted to shit. Oh my goodness, this block is worthless. I mean, it was worthless before. It was a 305, so I mean, it wasn't worth anything anyways, but still, I'd like to run them if I can, but I guess it's good for the next dude that I did decide to do this. Oh my gosh, this thing is... I've never seen it. It's like... The only description I have for this is like... I don't know, it feels like one of them silk blankets, but in powder form on the inside of the engine. All the fuck... Oh man. All of these push rods are crusty. I mean... Whew. That's bad. I'm kind of excited to get this sucker up on an engine stand.